final part. This means part 3.
Anyways, let's continue about Electronic Arts.
EA is headed by Chairman Larry Prost and CEO Andrew Wilson.
Many have attributed Ricciello's success in leading EA to his passion as a gamer.
Former EA Games, EA Worldwide Studios, is home to many of EA's studios, which are responsible for action-adventure, role-playing, racing and combat games, marketed under the EA brand.
In addition to traditional, packaged goods games, EA Worldwide Studios also develops massively multiplayer online role-playing games.
As of April 2018, the division is led by Laura Mill. First introduced in 1991 as the Electronic Arts Sports Network, before being renamed due to a trademark dispute with ESPN, EA Sports publishes all the sports games from EA, including FIFA Football, Madden NFL, Fight Night, NBA Live, NCAA Football, Cricket, NCAA March Madness, Tiger Woods PGA Tour, NHL Hockey, NASCAR and Rugby.
In 2011, Forbes ranked EA Sports 8th on their list of most valuable sports brands, with a value of $625 million.
EA All Play is a mobile-oriented label that, since 2012, publishes digital titles like The Simpsons, Tetris, and Battlefield, as well as Hasbro board games like Scrabble. The EA Competitive Gaming Division, CGD, founded in 2015 by Peter Moore and currently headed by Todd Citron, is a group dedicated on enabling global esports competitions. On EA's biggest franchises including FIFA, Madden NFL, Battlefield and more. The Search for Extraordinary Experiences Division, SEED, was revealed at the 2017 Electronic Entertainment Expo as a technology research division and incubator. Using tools like deep learning and neural networks to bring in player experiences and other external factors to help them develop more immersive narratives and games.
SEED has offices in Los Angeles and Stockholm.
EA Partners co-publishing program was dedicated to publishing and distributing games developed by third-party developers.
EA Partners began as EA Distribution, formed in 1997 and led by Tom Frisina, a former executive from Accolade and 360 who helped both companies find third-party developers as to provide publishing support for them.
Frisina's early partners included Looking Glass Studios, MGM Interactive, for the rights to the James Bond property, DreamWorks Interactive, and eventually DICE. In the latter two cases, these studios would later be acquired by EA as part of the EA DICE family.
In 2003, EA's president John Ricciello pushed for a renaming of the EA Distribution label, seeing the potential to bring in more independent developers and additional revenue streams.
While they renamed the label as EA Partners, in 2003, Ricciello left EA the following year, which disrupted the direction the label had been aiming to go. Oddworld inhabitants, who had signed on with EA Partner for their next Oddworld games, found the situation difficult as EA Partners was reluctant to support games where they did not own the intellectual property rights and instead favored internal development.
situation, with EA partners switched gears in 2005 after EA and Valve signed an EA partners deal for the physical distribution of the Orange Box. EA partners realized it needed to be flexible to handle the different publishing opportunities presented to them.
A similar breakthrough was reached with signing on harmonics for the distribution of the Rock Band games, requiring them to work closely with MTV Games on the plastic instrument controllers necessary for the titles.
A number of major partnerships were made over the next few years, including Namco Bandai, Crytek, Starbreeze Studios, ID Software, Epic Games and People Can Fly. Double Fine Productions, Grasshopper Manufacture, Spicy Horse, and Real-Time Worlds.
While many of these partnerships proved successful, the division had two major marks on its name.
It was associated with a situation around Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning developed by 38 Studios, which had been significantly backed by loans from taxpayer funds from the state of Rhode Island.
Kingdoms failed to be commercially successful, and EA partners pulled out of making a sequel, leaving 38 Studios in default of its loan payback to the state.
Secondly, while The Secret World from Funcom launched as a paid-for game without subscriptions, Funcom had to switch their monetization model to free-to-play to improve their revenues, which further affected EA partners.
Around April 2013, as part of a large 1,000-employee layoff, many reporters claimed that EA Partners was also being shut down for its poor commercial performance, but the program remained active as the company refocused its efforts.
The label remained dormant over the next several years, while Let's expanded on the EA Originals program, but following the move of EA Partners and EA Origins into the Strategic Growth Group in August 2018, the label was revived on the March 2019 with a publishing deal with Velon Studios, formed from the former heads of the various divisions.
Notable publishing/distribution agreements included EA Originals is a program within Electronic Arts to help support independently developed video games.
EA funds the money for development, and once it recruits that, all additional revenue goes to the partner studio that created the game.
That studio also gets to keep the intellectual property rights for whatever it creates, and even has creative control over the project.
The program was announced at EA's press event at the 2016 E3 conference, and builds upon the success they had with Unravel by Coldwood Interactive in 2015.
The first game to be supported under this program is Fahey's Link, with plans for release in 2018.
It was followed by Aware, by Hazelight Studios and eventually Sea of Solitude, by Joe B. Games.
In E3 2019, on its EA Play event, EA announced that 3 new titles would come, with Zoink returning with a new title called Lost in Random, Hazelight Studios returning with a new title, and Clownmade entering the initiative with a title called Rush Heart. Since the mid-2000s, Electronic Arts has been in the center of numerous controversies involving acquisitions of companies and alleged anti-consumer practices in their individual games, which can be further read on their own articles, as well as lawsuits alleging EA's anti-competition when signing sports-related contracts. Okay, looks like breaking news that the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is an ongoing armed conflict between the armed forces of Azerbaijan and Armenia in Nagorno-Karabakh, the latest escalation in the unresolved Nagorno-Karabakh conflict.
The clashes began on the morning of 27 September 2020 along the Nagorno-Karabakh line of contact.
Both sides reported military and civilian casualties.
In response to the clashes, Armenia on the south, proclaimed Republic of Artsakh, introduced martial law and total mobilization, while Azerbaijan introduced martial law and a curfew.
On 28 September, partial mobilization was declared in Azerbaijan. The clashes stem from the dispute over the Armenian majority Nagorno-Karabakh, an internationally recognized territory of Azerbaijan, which is presently held by the self-proclaimed Republic of Artsakh.
The Nagorno-Karabakh War had ended with a ceasefire in 1994, with Armenia in control of the Nagorno-Karabakh region, as well as in the surrounding districts Saydam, Jabril, Fizuli, Kalbajar, Piabatli, Lachin and Zanjan of Azerbaijan.
According to the 2018 war report, prepared by the Geneva Academy of International Humanitarian Law and Human Rights, Armenia exercises its authority over Nagorno-Karabakh by equipping, financing or training and providing operational support to the self-proclaimed Nagorno-Karabakh Republic and its forces, but also in coordinating and helping the general planning of their military and paramilitary activities.
For 3 decades, multiple violations of the ceasefire have occurred, the most serious being the 2016 Nagorno-Karabakh clashes and the July 2020 clashes at the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan.
Thousands of Azerbaijanis demonstrated for war against Armenia, with Turkey flaming up its rhetoric in support of Azerbaijan. On 23 July 2020, Armenia announced the start of the joint air defense system exercises with Russia and an analysis of July 2020 clashes.
A week later, Azerbaijan conducted a series of military exercises that lasted from 29 July to 10 August, and then again in early September with the involvement of Turkey.
In late September, Armenia took part in joint military exercises on the southern border of the Russian Federation, in Armenia as well as in Abkhazia and South Ossetia. Both self-declared independent states within what most of the international community regards as the national borders of Georgia.
During the 75th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan made a statement supporting the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan and Georgia.
Also, prior to the resumption of hostilities, allegations emerged that hundreds of Syrian National Army members from the Hamza Division were transferred to Azerbaijan, while according to Turkish sources, many YPG and PKK members from Iraq and Syria were transferred to Nagorno-Karabakh in order to train Armenian militias against Azerbaijan. Here's the footage, what happened. Thank you for watching, and this is the second to last episode.
But we only have one more left episode before season 1 is finished.
So anyway, please subscribe and see you on last episode. See you soon.